been worried about the change in the weather? A little too cold to see the sunshine. If everyone thought the same, we'd be in the land of never. It's not the same at the end of the lifeline. Never been thinking about the why or the whether. This panic is singing like a siren in the sun. The wind is howling into the waves that took us under. Rolling around and bringing up pictures in the sun. Giving it home in the cable. Bringing me close to the fire under the table. The bubble, bring me closer to the fire on the door. Never been thinking about the why or the weather. Spring can seem like a siren in the sun. The wind is howling into the waves that took us under. Rolling around the curve, whispers by the tongue. Giving it home in the cable. Bring me close to try the fire under the table. Giving it home under the bubble. Bring me closer to the fire on the door. Been thinking about the why or the weather. Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. Got a drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Have a Gino shot.
Gino shot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle. Get to Gino spot.
Gino spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Center Stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gino's Spot. I know it's Monday night and not Tuesday night that we're doing it live, but we are doing it on Tuesday. So if you're seeing me on Tuesday, it's kind of live. It's rebroadcasting. So welcome to Gino's Spot. 6:30 every Tuesday we do it, and sometimes on a Monday if we have stuff to do during the week, which we have. In fact, we're going all the way to Bloemfontein for a corporate gig this weekend, and it's going to be great fun. I think we're going to be traveling up, and then when I get back, I'm going to do this. It's called the Merrill Trail Ride. It's in Tsikhama. I can't wait for that as well. That's going to be great fun. We've booked in at Baba Difford's place in Eerste Rivier, and we're going to have a great time on the beach, and then go for a lovely trail ride, which I did. Also, we had the Ride the Midlands, which I did recently as well. It was bicycles and running. Yesterday we ran the trail at the Berg River. It's called the Berg River Eco Resort or something. It's out there towards Thornhill, and just the amazing event. Big O events, Chris and the team there, which I want to get on the show as well. Chris is amazing. He's organizing all these runs and trail runs and trail rides here in PE. So check out Big O events as well. They're doing all sorts. If you want to get into a bit of fitness and a bit of running and stuff, it's fantastic. So we had a great trail run yesterday. We did the 12K. I think the 12Ks, and I'm a bit stiff. Let's just say I'm a little bit stiff, because my word, it was lots of hike. It was actually more of hiking than running, I think, most of the time. We tried to run, but it was mostly hiking. Fantastic. 600 meters elevation, I think, and 12Ks. And then they had a 23K as well, which I don't know how the guys did. I don't know how they're sort of superhuman or something. Anyway, lovely to have you on. Just send us a message. Tell us where you're watching from and what you're doing, so we know what's happening. Get yourself something to drink, whether it be anything. Get yourself a coffee, get yourself a gin and tonic, whatever you need to relax yourself. But also, obviously, YouTube is the best way to watch it. YouTube is the best way to watch the show, and it's you subscribe and then you hit the button. And the bell, the little bell, and then the little bell tells you exactly every time when Gino Spot has got a new edition every single Tuesday at 6:30, and we interview people from all over PE and surrounds. Thank you to our sponsors, Spa, and of course our new sponsors, Sovereign and Fitchin Leeds as well, who are helping out not only with the show but also with our live events, which we're doing. Our Sensational 6 show, which was fantastic. We waved goodbye to Wayne Callis last week. Wayne is now in Miami, baby. He's gone all the way to Miami, and so I'm wearing my yellow Miami suit. I don't know if it's a Miami suit, but it's close enough. And Wayne is over there, and he's going to be doing the ships. So we are obviously with our Sensational 6 show. We've got Simon Shaw coming in, and also we've been chatting to Daniel J, and he's going to be making an appearance or two with the band as well. So looking forward to new rebirth and new things to come. Also, don't forget, we've got our dams that are filling up as well. We're going to get the weather guru on at some stage as well to check out what's happening there, because that was always a worry, but now people don't seem to be worried so much, although we haven't lifted water restrictions yet, as far as I know, unless I'm wrong. Somebody tell me in the comments. I don't think we've had the water restrictions lifted yet, but I think we're going to probably get straight into the show tonight. We're not going to waste any time because we have two guests. We've got Nolwazi and we've got Chantal from the Friendly City comedy crew, which is close to my heart because I love the comedy stuff, and it's going to be interesting to find out what they've got on the go. So without any ado, we are going to get into it. Let's get our guests on the show.
Welcome to the show. Now it's your time to shine. We're gonna have a lekker chat tonight. Another good time.
Get all our drinks in order and get on our mics in order, and we are in. And Gary's got is already in with the camera angles. Check it out. Lovely to have you guys on. No, there's unfortunately we're on the sides, I'm afraid. So we wide angle on the sides. So Chantal, Nolwazi, thank you for coming in. And I know we've been chatting for a while about getting you on for this for something here, because you've been doing so much in the comedy scene in PE, which I'm so pleased about. I mean, what have you? Tell us what's coming up now. What's the next thing that's happening that you're doing? A bit of advertising, yeah. Because you were advertising a comedy show coming up for the.
We've got a comedy show on tomorrow night at the Harbour Master.
Tomorrow night is Tuesday.
Yeah.
It is Tuesday. So once you've finished watching a little bit of Gino Spot, you can probably, if you're watching, otherwise if you're watching tonight, go.
Yes, if you're watching tonight, go.
Yeah.
So at the Harbour Master, we went to go and see Jürgen a little while ago. You know, he's great. He loves the whole idea of the comedy and everything. And
Jürgen runs the Harbour Master.
Yeah.
Okay, so because that was used to be Friendly Stranger, I think, before.
Originally,
It was called the Friendly Stranger. It wasn't that long ago, was it?
Before COVID, and then it was.
It was something else.
It was something else in between.
Yes. Oh, they'll put it in the comments. People will always remember.
But the Harbour Master is just above Bridge Street.
Yes.
So it's in the valley.
Right there. Well, just below Bridge Street. At the bottom of Bridge Street. Oh, no, Bridge Street does go through, hey? Yeah. To the bottom of Bridge Street.
I mean Bridge Street Breweries.
Yeah, Bridge Street Breweries.
So it's just at the top.
Because Bridge Street is the actual road that goes up. The old road. There's an old.
That's right. Yeah,
that's the one. It was the steepest road in PE.
Not as old as you.
It was the steepest road in PE. That's the one. Okay, so that's where it is. Yeah. And tomorrow night.
Yeah. So we've got there's a couple of us from local comedians. So myself, Nolwazi, and Jermaine Matris. And then we've got Vision Masango, who's a comedian from Cape Town.
Okay.
A clean comedian from Cape
Oh,
Town.
clean.
He's originally actually from Zimbabwe. Yeah,
wow.
but we got to see 5 minutes of a set of his at the One Room on Saturday night.
Yes.
And
Okay.
no, he was great.
They're
so
doing-
we're so excited. to
Yeah,
have him in
just
town.
tell the guys about the One Room as well, because that's also an interesting one. That's in Westbourne Road, right?
Yeah.
Upstairs. Is it upstairs?
No,
Is
it's
it
just
downstairs?
a venue.
It's
It's
a
like
venue.
one-story venue.
One-story venue,
So
okay.
one room, literally.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Right.
they have a stage and they've got a bar and I
Okay.
think a little outdoor area. And that's it.
Is it near Barry's Food side around there? I'm trying to figure out where it is in.
It's where the water shop and then the Aurora charity shop is
Yes.
there, and that next
The next block.
place. I think
Okay.
there was a
Is it-
picture framing place.
Oh, yes. Keith
I
Johns.
think they were there, but Keith
Keith
Johnson
Johns.
moved across the road.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in there, and they do comedy quite regularly. I think they do all sorts now. But they've got musicians as well in there too.
Yeah.
So right.
Yeah.
Who's the lady that runs it and the guys? Louis.
Nomako, I don't know what their surnames are. Oh yes, what's Nomako Moses?
Josopo.
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 I look too.
Sound
Nolwazi
Italian.
for help.
Yes.
Josopo. Yeah.
Josopo
Yeah.
sounds.
So Nomako Mazi Josopo and then Louis.
Louis.
Yeah.
I've got him saved as Louis One Room.
Louis.
It's Louis One Room.
But that venue's also been going a little while now, and they've seemed to have become a little hub for comedians that want to have a go,
Yeah.
and starting out, as well as some established guys that are coming from out of town,
Yeah.
as well, which is great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
And I think what you guys are doing here in PE is, in my mind, it looks like a similar sort of thing where you scouting for people, for new people as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, we started this. I saw Nolwazi open for Skulk Bezuidenhout
A skulky.
like a good couple of years ago. Hey,
Yeah,
Nolwazi went-
2021.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
okay.
I was like, check out this chick, man.
Yeah.
She's so brave. And I was like, but can I also do that then? So we just started chatting then. And I said to her, I said to her then, I said, I've got an idea. I think she's sick of me hearing me say, I've got an idea.
Always got an idea.
Yeah, I've got an idea.
Because Nolwazi knows, no.
But most of them are good. So
So is that where you guys met?
Yeah.
Okay, at your gig. How did you get that gig? There was Skulk. coming
yeah,
in.
with Skulk. So what happened was his show in it was the feeling good, feeling positive
Yes.
thing, and then
Feeling good, feeling
Yes.
positive.
yeah, that one. And then it was the week after my birthday, and my aunt, who's based in the US, phoned and said, "Oh, happy birthday!" And I said to her, "Oh, thanks, whatever." And I went to my mom after, and I said, "I really should have asked her for money to go watch Skulk." And my mom goes, "Well, why would you want to watch the show when you can be in the show? Contact him and ask if you can open."
Yeah.
And I did, and he said, "Oh, sure, of course, why not?"
Wow.
And I did it 2021 and last year.
Fantastic. So he's obviously got to know you then.
Yeah.
And had you done anything like that before?
Before Skulk, no.
Like comedy wise, I mean.
Comedy-wise, I had done the Stand Foundation Women's Comedy Project, which was in 2020.
Yeah.
And then they had like a showcase that was run by Marion Tam and Mike van Graan.
Okay.
And then they paired us with professional working comedians.
Okay.
And then what we had to do to enter was submit a set. So then we kind of fine-tuned our set with our comedy mentors and then performed them at the showcase.
Wow, that's amazing. Who did you partner up with at that stage?
I partnered up with Angel Campy.
Oh, no, Angel. Yeah.
And the thing that was funny was I had forced her to meet me like the year before. I said, "Listen, I know you in PE. Can I just have like an hour with you?" She's like, "Oh, no, not a problem."
Yeah, she's cool.
And then we met up, and then I told her when I found out she was my mentor, I said, "Listen, Angel, guess who's your mentor, your mentee?" And she
Yeah.
says, "Who?" I said, "You." She goes, "Oh, at least it's someone I believe in." So it ended up
good.
well. Yeah.
Good. No, she's. I've done a few shows with Angel in Cape Town side. She's very cool. But they've got in Cape Town. They have this group of people, and if you look at that sort of generation of comedians, there's Seven Gessie, Angel Campy, Alan Committee's in there, as although he's
Yeah.
slightly older.
Nick Rabinowitz.
Nick Rabinowitz is in there, and Skulk is in there. I'm thinking of Glenn Wiedemann Pam as well. Also, they're doing a lot of TV stuff as well because they're in Cape Town. They just get the opportunity to do it. It's amazing. But they are such good. They've got such amazing experience through those. And I think they all hook up. They all know each other.
Yes, they all know each other.
And which is what we really need here as well, which I think you guys have put your finger on it, and you put in your hand in it, and you're starting to get in there.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. I love, Nolwazi's well networked in comedy. I say, do you know this person? She's like, yeah. And she's walla. I'm going, okay, cool. Speak to them and see if they can't come here.
Yeah.
so Nolwazi's got it in with so many of the people, and it's great because I've learned so much about comedy from her. Yeah. But once we started this thing, there's so many people. We've got a group of about 30.
Yeah.
Some of them are people that haven't really been on stages, that maybe have been on our stage once or twice. But otherwise, there's some of the guys that are really quite professional and they've been around for a while. And you sort of don't, because there aren't opportunities here, so you don't get to hear about them. Or maybe they're also not comedians that you would often meet. So one or two of the guys only do vernacular shows.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So, when
it's Xhosa comedy or
and
that kind of vibe.
comedy is also quite,
it's getting big. Thing. It's getting bigger and bigger.
It's a big thing.
So
gives an opportunity.
And some of them don't. Some of them will only do vernacular, but then some of them can cross over quite effortlessly.
Yes.
And it's great just to connect with those guys and see what they're doing and where they're doing it and that kind of thing. Yeah,
definitely. But I think the fact that you're doing something where they can congregate is already will draw attention. And people will know about it, and they'll say, okay, well, if I've got a corporate, we've got an end of the year function, we need somebody to do 10 minutes of comedy, half an hour comedy. Let's go in and see these guys and see who's there.
Well, exactly. Gino, and that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to be as diverse as possible. We want to have as many different people.
Yeah.
We need more female comedians, obviously.
Yeah.
So if anybody thinks that they'd like to give it a try.
There is one or two more.
Good.
We've got a couple more. But we would love to have more female comedians coming in. Definitely, we've got a good mix of men. Okay. There's the Xhosa speaking guys and a lot of coloured guys as well.
Yeah,
a couple of white dudes as well have tried to give it a try. So it's like a bit. So we're always looking for new people. So if anybody's interested, what we also try to do is, so just to take a step back to the Friendly City Comedy crew, it's not just about having an open mic night. It's also about finding other ways to develop comedians. As you know, to develop yourself as a comedian, you need a stage to stand up on and perform. Because we don't know if we're getting better if we're only performing to our mother.
Yeah. And your mother's going to be your biggest fan. She is so funny. You won't believe Nolwazi she is that. Oh, I've been laughing the whole.
Funnily enough, my mom, when I told her, I said, I want to do comedy too, but you're not funny. Okay. But after I'd done it for a while, she was like, actually, I'm pretty impressed. This is good.
She hasn't seen that side of you. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we often, you often hear the story. It's not just because you're funny around a bra.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily mean you've got, because honestly, when I met Nolwazi, I thought, okay, this is something I can get my teeth into and start maybe trying to do. But then when you start, you're like, wow. It's not really what you think it is. It's not about standing up and being funny. No. It's not just about that. It's about sitting, thinking about intentionally what you're going to write. It's like what you're going to write, what's going to work. Can you say this to these people? Do you want to be clean? Are you prepared to do a little bit of swearing? How's it going to work for you? And who's your audience? Because not every single comedian appeals to every single person.
For sure. Yeah. But I find, because we've always done character work and stuff, and I find to be behind the character is sometimes easier. I think Rob van Vuuren said to me as well that he finds stand up easier than the character stuff. But I was like, no way. Like when you're behind that character, you've got a direction. It gives you an immediate direction.
Yeah.
Well, your own styles and your own thing that you got obviously different styles and different sort of things. So how would you describe yourself as, or your comedy self? Is it?
I guess you can start. We start with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so my comedy style is more like observational comedy.
Okay.
So it's also things that I've experienced or
Yeah.
things that have happened to me, because I seem to be a magnet for like weird and funny and crazy experiences.
Yes.
And then I've been told by other comics that you've got such a deadpan delivery, and that's like usually what gets people like, oh my word, she just said that, what the heck? And then it just goes off. So
Okay, so you like a lot about like a bit of deadpan stuff. But what's I'm always thinking that Bill Hicks, was it Bill Hicks? Who's the deadpan guy? I can't remember. Gary Mitch Hedberg. That was the guy that's deadpan. He did the deadpan stuff, And yourself, Chantal?
I think I'm still trying to find my feet a bit.
Yeah.
I love the idea of developing a character.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that's going to go. So
Well, it's
counting on some
input.
input. Yeah.
I mean, don't you feel that it's always going to be part of yourself? Though it's always
I don't
part of you.
know, because I quite like the idea of playing a masculine role.
Oh, right, okay.
But then again, I always feel like I've got a lot of masculine energies to channel.
Yeah. Go on, do it.
I don't know. But I mean, also, there's the whole, lately I've been thinking about this whole, I used to do this thing when I was young and probably a little bit inebriated. It was a Sonia Herald kind of a gossip train, kind of a little thing with a little umbrella. And I did this whole thing. And it really used to get quite a big fun. So maybe I need to channel my inner Sonia Herald.
Yes.
So we'll see what comes of that.
Because always on stage, you may be close to yourself, but you certainly, I mean, I think everybody takes on a character, a stage character. I think you are a version of yourself. I mean, talk to Barry Hilton and or to Oren McElroy and these guys Oren's typically just characters, but Barry certainly.
Yeah.
And these guys that do stand up and Skulk, for instance. It's a version of himself that's on stage, and then becomes that persona.
Right.
I think that's probably the way it goes, and then you're most comfortable in that skin. So I think that's the first step. Is like it's a part of you somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to just like dig it out.
Yeah.
But as Nolwazi said, the stuff that happens, I mean, every day of life, being a single mom with like 3 kids and like a couple of hangers on, there's always, I've got one child that stayed with me for a bit, is my child, and she just like, she phones me every now and she says, John, you ready for some more comedy? I've got some for you. So, I say, bring it on.
Yeah.
I'll easily work that into a set.
It's true, but it also comes from an ability to see the funny in life too.
Mm-hmm.
And you find and people always it's the sort of standard thing to say is that comedians are often bipolar or like get depressed or they do. I mean, we're normal people, I suppose. So the spread is going to be the spectrum is going to be there. Some people are going to be grumpy, some not. But they see I think the one common denominator is to see the funny.
Yeah. You see the funny, but also I feel like a lot of comedians are people with trauma.
Yeah.
And trauma makes you funny somehow. So you kind of can pick and choose, and you're like, oh, actually, that was funny, although it was very bad, but it was hilarious.
I know some things you just, and sometimes you think of something and you think, oh, no, I can't use that.
A little bit too close to the bone.
I know. Yesterday there was a guy. I came second yesterday in the race, but I was coming third. And the guy that was in front, actually, I think he had a bit of dehydration, and he sort of just before the end, he had to be taken away. And I think he's okay. Check, but it just goes to show the power of prayer.
Didn't know you were religious.
No, Rob, I think he's fine, but you know, I just thought, no, I can't use that. But you, and your material and your stuff comes from your lives, then, you know, for sure, as comedians. Yeah, as comedians. And do you find that when you're together with these guys, that these groups, that you find creative juices flow and things happen?
Yeah, so we do what we've been trying to do, and part of the Friendly City Comedy Crew is about development. So we want to also do workshops. We've run a few workshops.
Okay.
And when I say to comedians, don't you want to do this workshop for us? And they sort of say, yeah, but you can't teach comedy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I understand that, because it's about getting up on a stage and telling the jokes.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know the theory, and it's nice to understand how to write well, how to get into storytelling, how to Kurt de Blanche did, how to run your comedy as a business, which was really helpful and informative.
Good.
We've got Jam, the comedian, coming up in September. He's going to do a workshop called Craft a set that you can tour the country with. We'd love you to do something on the, the characters. But
I never thought of myself as a teacher, but
so we want to actually get into that sort of learning process. I've totally lost my train of thought. Nolwazi will fill in. She's good at that.
Now, I was going to say another thing that we do is like joke feedback sessions with our comedians. So you'll come with whatever material you've written and tell it to everyone. The one rule is, though, you cannot share the jokes that have been told with anyone else.
But you can help them to
but
craft
you can
them.
help them to craft it.
Yes.
So kind of people will come with ideas and they'll say, I like what this sounds like, but I want it to be like this or like that.
Yes.
And we kind of help one another in that way.
The jokes that you want to change and make things. You know, I don't think there is a joke that you can tell that hasn't been told before in some way.
Exactly.
So often it's a case of looking at the whole thing and making stuff work in a different situation. That's why I find the characters so a little bit easier into that, because you know what that character should think, should think like, or should be like, or
and you can put them in different situations.
That's it.
Exactly. So with the joke feedback sessions, which is what's nice about that, is we are trying to build the community. We want to have we'd love to have a bus sponsored. So that because we travel to shows together to go and support, and you know, some of the guys, you know, we'll go and fetch in Motherwell or whatever and go through to Utenegg.
Okay.
But the joke feedback sessions and that all together, it starts building our community. I'm going to go and get some water.
So you have these workshops, kind of workshops where that's fantastic. It's like a little hub where you can chat to the other comedians, and it's so cool when you get some help with a joke or with a thing, when you've got something that you know should really work and it's not quite working.
And the nice thing is also, even if you've got something and you think, okay, this is done, this is like perfect, and someone will come in and be like, actually, if you said this instead of that, and it makes it so much funnier, and it actually gives more depth into the joke. So you think to yourself, oh wow, like if I hadn't have come with this joke, then I would have still been where I was when I'd originally written it.
It's true, and it's great to have that external thing, you know, that's because sometimes you don't see. You're stuck in that zone and you can't see out of it. So that's great. That is absolutely amazing that you're doing this stuff. I'm actually excited for you that because I can almost see that this can totally become a hub where more comedians are attracted to it. People who are thinking, maybe I'll get into this, would be attracted to it and come there, because it's a safe space for now as well, you know, because it's a hell of a thing for a person to come the first time and do something on stage, you know.
Exactly.
The thing that's really nice as well is our audience seems to be also very like forgiving, and they're not super like, oh, we're not going to listen to this person because it's their first time. Like they're very engaged with the comedians, and you get like a genuine response out of them.
Yeah.
So that's always great as well.
We've got a couple that have been to every single one of our open mic nights.
Lovely.
And it's awesome to see that kind of support.
Yeah.
To have that kind of support from our
We
audience.
need that. We
So
need
we're
that.
very appreciative of our audience.
See, there's
as
a
well.
question online. Philippa, my wife's online there. She says, well, which other female comedians are you inspired by? Do you watch other comedians, other female comedians?
Yes, I do.
Because I find sometimes if I watch too much, I feel like I'm at work. So,
Yeah, no, we've got some great ones in South Africa, and that's also, a whole lot that you didn't even know about. I mean, I didn't even know about half the people that, Angel and all of them. We've been doing quite a bit with Sophie Jones. Not doing quite a bit with Sophie Jones. We've been speaking to her. She's one of Nolwazi's friends. So she's hopefully going to come and do some stuff with us here in December. She's not really only a stand-up comedian, though. She's busy. She's just come back from Edinburgh. She toured. She did a one-man show called Ill it was autobiographical, and it's great. And she does writing workshops as well. She also does clowning.
Sure.
So she's great. And, I also find these people are just so generous with their time and their knowledge and everything. We've spoken to, Kanyisa Bunu we went to one of her shows. She's just great. She's just so embracing.
Yes, I did the show with her too once. She's great.
She is great. Well, I messaged her because I knew she was coming to do a show here. And I was like, Kanyisa, please can I get, because I'm like, okay, Nolwazi does it all the time. She goes and asks people and then they say, come be on. So I messaged Kanyisa. She said, come, you can be on my show. It was at the one room.
Lovely.
We went to the one room. And the whole thing was in Xhosa. Kanyisas was in Xhosa. The people leading up to it was in Xhosa. Chantal was there with her 5-minute set in English to a Xhosa audience. But it was great. So Kanyisa laughed.
Good.
And Louis came to me afterwards and said that was great. And Nolwazi was there. She laughed.
Oh, she laughed too. Oh, no. She had 3 people.
But also very generous with their time and, and recognition and say, and, happy to just support each other.
Sure.
So, those are a couple of the people I love also from an international perspective. I love Amy Schumer, but because she just really is very outspoken. It's one of the things that I like, that I'd love to get to at some stage with my comedy. Maybe I'll end up with a angry feminist or a happy Sarah Silverman, kind of a vibe. But I've even found new international comedians that I never knew about, which is good. I don't know, who inspires you, friend?
Well, I enjoy the local people. So like Angel, Lindy Johnson, Waylene Beerkus. She's maybe it's Waybeline on all the socials because her name sounds like Maybelline.
Waybeline.
Yeah. And a lot of them I've like actually fostered relationships with and become friends with. But internationally, I really enjoy Catherine Ryan. She's Canadian, but she's based in the UK. And then Ali Wong is also really funny. And most of these people I've seen like on Netflix. Amanda Seals is also really funny. She's an African American comedian. And then what else can I think of?
It's. I mean, you draw ideas and things from all these people, and there's stuff about their sets that you enjoy, and you think maybe you can incorporate or have that same sort of vibe, It's like music, if you hear nice bass line somewhere, then you want to use it, but you want to get that same feel, and for sure it influences the way you think about your craft. I mean, but I'm going back to it again, but I really feel that because there's nothing like this has been done that I've seen here before, where it's been like a fly trap, where you bring these people, you're pulling them towards you, and it's got to work. It's got to work for sure. It might take a little time, but it's got to work.
Yeah, well, I think that every month we sort of look at each other. We set up the room and we go from moving chairs and we're carting things up and down. And every time we're like, who's coming to help? And it's some people come and help, and it's us. And we set everything up, and like we'll look at each other and we'll go, we're doing this again.
Again, I know. Are we actually doing this again?
Yeah. And Nolwazi's so good because she makes sure we get a photograph most times.
Yeah.
Of us together, just to put it's proof.
Yeah. Where your background? Where did you come from? As far as I mean, your skills now. You setting up chairs, you're doing things. But where was your where were your skills before?
See, those are the kind of questions I'm scared of, Gino.
What were you
My
doing
CV is
before?
about 12 pages long. My CV, I promise you, I have typically with, I don't know, assuming an ADHD mind,
Yes.
have had about 20 different jobs in my life.
Okay.
I've been in banking, I've been in micro lending,
Mm.
I've been in marketing, I've been in training and HR probably for the longest period of my time. Because
HR.
people in the job, you're training specifically.
Okay.
So, that's,
Yeah.
I'm happy, and I'm realizing more and more that I don't know why I didn't get into performance much earlier in my life. It was never really a thought ever. But now I like it. I'm happy to be on a stage and
There's obviously a nurturing section to you because you like that you got get involved in encouraging people and getting them going as well. So
in actual fact, interesting that you said that because it's one of my strengths according to Gallup. I've
Oh,
even done like
what's
these
Gallup?
corporate things, Gallup is a strength finder.
Oh,
kind of a
really?
thing,
Do you do Gallup? Those numbers and
Not Gallup
numerology.
running away, just like,
Okay.
the strengths finder and developing is one of my strengths.
Okay.
So I do like that, but the big thing is that people energize me. So like when after I think one of the first events I ever went to after lockdown, I went somewhere with Philippa.
Yes.
After that event, I was like on such a high. I was bouncing. I felt like I was bouncing off the walls. It was just so much energy. But you know what it's like? You actually need to sometimes just take a step back.
Yes.
And just say no.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of different things. So this is just like almost just another different thing. It's really got it's got a solid feel to it, and I can see my approach to it is quite different to a lot of stuff that I've done.
Yeah.
And most
You're enjoying
recently for the last years, I'm loving it. Even the hard stuff, I'm loving.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good indication of whether you could be in it for the long run, is if you enjoy the hard stuff. I've been doing social media management for the last 6 years.
Okay.
Just a small agency with a couple of retail clients.
Okay.
Which I do. The thing is, I love my clients.
So TikTok and stuff, and which were all platforms. I think it's Instagram. Instagram, you do a little post every now and again. I enjoy the posts.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm aiming for.
I do it.
I want more people to enjoy them.
And I see and obviously the swimming and the exercise. Philippa's you've got Philippa into swimming.
So great. I love the swimming so much. It's so cute that my mom and dad, I think they think I swim from Kids Beach to Six Pillars and back every time I go to the ocean, but I really don't. I can maybe do 600. I think the furthest I've swum is 600 meters. And I just feel I'm really unfit. I need to get into a pool and practice.
Okay.
But I love it. The ocean is definitely a place for healing.
Invigorating.
Yeah, it's invigorating, and it's just perfect. Perfect place to be.
Yeah, therapy. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you, Nolwazi, what's your history?
So for me, I think I started off like from primary school doing I stayed.
Were you guys at school here as well? You at school in PE as well?
I matriculated at collegiate.
Collegiate.
So
There
did
we go. And you as well. Collegiate girls.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
you would have
Lord.
thought. But I mean, there's a probably
Lordy.
difference in age.
Same matric,
Same matriculate. Not at all.
Yeah, so throughout, because I only started at collegiate from grade 4.
Okay.
So before that, we were based in Cape Town.
Okay.
So I did some Stedfords, I think it was grade
Singing.
2 and grade 3. No, it was poetry.
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 Yes, I did.
So then I did that. I was in choirs. I was eventually got into orchestra, playing the flute. I thought, you know what? I like this. Like this is fun to me.
Yeah.
So then I found that I would be funny in conversation with friends, and one of my friends that I studied with at university said, listen, the journalism thing doesn't work out. I
Oh,
need you
it's-
to try comedy just once. And I did it once, and I said, actually, you know what? I like this. I'm going to do it
You
again.
do it.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, that very first time when you did comedy, what was that? Can you remember?
It was 2019 in July. We went to Cape Town because my mom had studied through Mancosa and the graduation was in Cape Town. So
Okay.
then I messaged Angel very quickly and I said, listen, where's there an open mic night? Because I'm going to be in Cape Town for these few days and I need to just give it a shot.
Okay.
And she said, okay, I'll find out for you. And then she said, message Yassine Barnes. He had a room.
I know Yassine. What a
he had
legend.
he's amazing.
Yeah.
He had a room at Timbuktu Coffee in Cybrand Park.
Wow.
And that's like a halal venue.
Yes,
so
yes.
there's no alcohol
Yeah.
sold. And people are having like cake and coffee and
Yeah.
samosas
Yes.
and all that stuff. It's not like a rowdy venue at
No,
all.
no. Yeah.
And I basically
The
told
Muslim crowd. It's
Yes,
tough
yes.
crowd, man.
and I told my first joke, and it's like a joke about still being a virgin at that age. And the crowd, like, I thought people were going to be like, woo. And they're like, woo!
Yeah.
That's amazing. I was like, okay. And with most of my audiences, I still tell the joke today. And most of the audiences clap or cheer.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
like, gosh, we are so conservative in South Africa. But okay, I'll take it. So,
We are. It's amazing how you find and it's just people are people. So when you go up on stage and you look out there, I mean, you know, if you consider you looking one-on-one with each of those guys, the thing that made me realize that is when you go towards somebody or they feel that the spotlight is completely on them. You can see their big eyes, but actually, you know, if you look at it in the biggest sense, it's not. They're looking at the comedian, not whoever's in the audience. So that little fear factor there was great. Small audience.
Yeah, it was not really very small. I think like maybe 50 odd people in that room. But the thing that was nice was I kind of got feedback from people in the audience, and that was great because the one lady, I had like a joke about being single, and she was like, oh my word, I'm so glad someone relates to me. And I was like, no, of course. And it was just nice to kind of get that feedback. And there were also other comedians who were there trying to get on the lineup. Chantal has worked with one of them, Gosa Kangwa, and then Rowan Clegg and Kashif Stellenboom. They are like a trio of friends that do comedy.
Yes.
And then they were waiting to kind of get on stage, hopefully, but they didn't get the opportunity that night. So they watched the whole thing. They watched the whole thing. Actually, I didn't take all their time. Carvin Goldstone showed up. He was the main guy for the night. So they were like, we're saving all the time for Carvin. We don't want to waste any time. So that's why they didn't get it. But when I came off stage, they were also encouraging, and they were like, no, man, that was great. Although I was so nervous, I took my book that I had written my jokes in, and I had it with me on stage. But I only referred like once or twice. But I never did that again.
Do you have a method of learning? I mean, and I know Gary wants to know if you guys get really nervous before you go on. I mean, I think everybody does, but
I think for me it's strange. I find that I'm very nervous beforehand, and I'm sort of, am I going to even remember this, and why have I included this in my set, because this is absolutely rubbish and I don't even know how the words are supposed to go. Because the first time I got on stage, I feel, or even now still, I feel it's very rehearsed. It's like I'm standing up and doing oral. It's not natural, and I think that's one of the things getting on stage. You're eventually going to get to like, this is just part of me. It's natural. But because you've written the stuff, you so sort of, I am set on getting it in the right order. Because that's the way it makes sense. It doesn't make sense if you do it the other way. You know? So I find that I'm very, very nervous before a show. But then as soon as I'm on that stage, you forget about everything. And it's just and also what's really nice about our stage is you can't see the audience.
It's a lot so far to say that. You can only see like maybe the people and then you see nothing.
Great.
You can just hear the occasional chirp.
Yes, oh my word. And because it's definitely you like I said, you get nervous, but that nervous energy converts into a bit of excitement and a bit of gets adrenaline flowing. Which is what you need. You need that adrenaline as well. But and you find when if you change the jokes around and you experiment with it as well a little bit, in the evening, so instead of sticking to the script, I sometimes find you do like you change the punchline, or you put it in a different spot, and it works better there, or I always do that, and I've had these things that I've been doing forever, and then I'll change it around, and I get a better laugh, and then either Ellen or Gary's got to write that. And when you change it to this, the other time I changed the punchline into Afrikaans instead of English, and I was like, oh, it works better in Afrikaans.
That's
do it.
And that's the thing, you have to be able to remember that, or we normally try and record our sets. So that we can see and hear when we may be getting laughs and what works better in a room.
Yes.
Because also you've got to then consider new audiences.
It's different audiences and different cultural audience as well. It's there's certain things I find funny, and you've got to find those little nuggets. If you're doing to a mixed audience, it's difficult. You've got to find those spots. You find a laugh here at one table over there, nothing else over there, one other laugh over there. So you've got to find those jokes. Gary had a question there, and I don't know, I've missed it. It went on and off there. So
very
that's good. Have you done Grandstand Festival? Grandstand Festival yet?
We're thinking of submitting an application for next year. It's hard work, and we spoke to some of the guys that came through. In actual fact, we had Callum Hitchcock, Zachary Esau, and Tues Sitole came and did a stint on our stage on their way to Grandstand.
Okay.
And I think it's an invaluable learning experience, but it's hard work, and it costs you money.
Costs money. That's a problem.
This is the thing. You don't really make money.
Actually, he's got a jacket like this too, I think. I just haven't got the stomach. I will stick it on.
So I think it's hard work, but I think we really should give it a go. What we want to do is do it as a community. So I don't know what the application looks like. So we're going to have to look at the application and see. It would have to be on the fringe.
It would be.
And
it's the problem is it costs money. We need a sponsor. They need a sponsor. Anybody can
just a bus, because we'll all just sleep in the bus. Head to toe in the bus. With the windows open a bit.
So some of the, let's say Butabee's online as well. It's Kurt, Kurt. And some of the guys that you've been working with that you've got to know. I don't know if you mentioned their names or
We've worked with Francois Scholz. He's also an established PE comedian. He has done some actual sets on our stage and hosted for us, which every time he hosts, it just goes very smoothly.
We love it. That's why we love you. But we just love it when we can get such professional guys working locally. And he's funny and he can pull everything together. We've had Butterbee come on stage as well for us, which was also fabulous to see.
And I just he's online now. I love I love what you're doing, and it's like the social media is great. It's always out there, and you check, and you've got that's such specific character. It's so when you see it once, you'll never forget it. And I'm sure it's becoming it's become quite a thing. A well-known character. I love that sort of thing. I really love it.
But we've got lots of great comedians. Please fill in if I leave anybody out. But like some of our new guys, Zahir Gqeberha, he's a Muslim guy. He's done a couple of stints on our stage, and he's just so funny.
Fun. Yassine Barnes is a Muslim comedian as well. A lot of Muslim kind of jokes and things, and the guys respond. They love it.
It's just like such a talent. Isaac Mehlape, he actually came down, I think, from Pretoria,
Pretoria or Joburg.
But he's based here now.
He's staying here now.
Young guy as well. He was on the lineup at the one room the other night. He was fantastic. One of our other favorites, and he's a favorite of our audience, is Jermaine Matruth. Who's he's also got this whole, he's quite performative, I find, in his comedy. So he's like, if he says, talking about giving somebody a clap, he's giving somebody a clap, and he's doing the facial expression.
Physical. Like Barry, I always think Barry Hilton is more physical than you would think. If you watch Barry doing stuff, he's all over the place. And I love that. So he does that too.
Exactly. It's great. But we've got Jam the comedian. He's coming. I don't know if anybody knows him. He's coming up from Cape Town now in September for the long weekend. His
Okay.
mom actually stays here, so
Okay,
it's
lovely.
cool. So he's going to come and hop on. But we want to do more with him. As I said, he's going to do a workshop with us.
Okay.
So he's
And
great in
tomorrow
person.
night is
Vision Masango.
Vision Masango. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the event is called Friendly, as in the
Friendly,
friendly,
yeah.
silly,
Yeah.
Yes,
comedy,
okay.
friendly and funny event. So we thought we were just playing around with names
Yeah.
and trying to make like a series of events. So we'd
Yeah.
like to, the open mic night is cheap and cheerful.
Yeah. Okay.
It's for starter comedians.
Yeah.
We have experienced comedians on there as well.
Yes.
Then the whole idea of the friendly and funny events is that it's something that we can charge more money for.
Okay. Yes.
And we could all maybe make a little bit of money because
Yeah.
we love the comedy
Yeah.
and we're happy to do a certain amount of stuff for free. But
Yeah.
we need to get to the stage where we are being able to
Yeah.
generate an income. Everybody
Yeah,
needs
for
to-
sure.
Yeah. We pay for little things, like sometimes we pay for transport, and even
Yeah.
our gig to run the last laugh
Yeah, it
costs
costs.
much more than what we pay anybody.
course.
You know, we literally, our photographer gets a couple of $100.
Yeah.
Our sound guy gets
No,
a
it's,
couple of
it's
$100.
fine. I mean, but I don't think that
Our
people
bar
are.
lady doesn't even get paid.
I mean, if you decide that you're going out, I don't think people worry about that the cost of the ticket too much. You know, it's like rather
That's such an
do something,
interesting
because
point.
also
Yeah.
I find if you don't charge, people take it for granted, they feel that it's not worth. It's almost
Right.
you know, people need to know that it's of value,
Right.
and so if they're paying, they'll come and they'll enjoy it.
Right.
Whereas if it's for free, it's like it's rubbish, or it's thinking
Yeah.
they don't value it if they don't pay for it.
Nice.
So I think you should definitely charge. And as Gary say, have you faced any unique challenges or stereotypes as a female comedian? That's an interesting question. As female comedians,
Oh, we can't tell
Do-
you now live.
is it? Is it? No, I mean, have you had anything that would be more difficult for a female comedian than a male comedian? You know? I'm sure Angel can tell you a few things. She's
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you have a bit of people underestimating you.
yeah,
They're like, "Oh, cute, you do comedy.
Yeah.
Like, that's so sweet." You know?
yeah,
It's the same as what you're doing, you know.
yeah.
But what I found when I first started was everyone was super welcoming. Everyone was like, "Give it a go, give it a try. You know, you've got this." It wasn't a case of like, "No, we don't want you." Like,
Yeah.
they were very much welcoming. But then there are certain situations where, like, especially with the Friendly City Comedy Crew,
Yeah.
where we find with some of the other comedians, it's a bit more of like a struggle, you
Yeah.
know, sometimes. But
Yeah.
we get through it, and you know, we
Yeah.
are happy to work with everyone and
Yeah.
include everyone, because we
Yeah.
also don't want it to be a case of, oh, we don't work with this person. We want it to be a community and
Yeah.
kind of have a cohesive type of unity amongst us of like, okay, we are in this together
Yeah.
and we want to do this together and like go far with one another.
It sounds like your HR history might help there as well.
Yeah, we do want to, but you know that in that as well, we want to sort of.
Rod's saying, "I'm famous now. You're famous, Rod's. You are famous."
You know, we want to also establish boundaries.
Yeah.
Just to say that there's certain behavior. We're building a professional crew, so
Yeah.
we want to. If people say they're going to attend one of our events, not attend, I mean, come and be on our lineup,
Yeah.
and they don't rock up, we sort of
Yeah.
like, okay, would we ask you a second or a third
Again,
time?
yeah.
You know, the jury, we'd rather ask the person that we know
That
comes
really
and
wants-
rocks up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And does what needs to be done. And also, you know, there's other things that we really shouldn't as comedians do,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
have too much to drink before we go on
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
We've done that
Yeah.
a few times, and recently we had some guys down from Joburg.
They were just nervous, you know, Chantal. They were just
but
nervous.
the one guy, he was on holiday as well as he was concerned.
Yeah.
He was so funny, and he was forgiven because we just absolutely do love him so much.
Love the
But-
set.
Yeah.
But you know, it's sort of like, and what I've realized as well is, as females, we need to assert ourselves and be
Yes.
able to say, okay, sorry, guy, that's not going to happen again,
Yeah.
or whatever. Which in the beginning, I was just like, oh, these people going to carry on and do this? Is that okay?
Yeah.
yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
we say something
Yes.
and do something about it,
Yeah.
people will,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Not,
Yeah,
not
they're
taking
taking advantage.
advantage.
Yeah, no, no.
I don't think it's taking advantage.
If they don't know where the
either.
boundaries are.
They don't know where the
Yeah,
boundaries
yeah,
are.
yeah.
So it's up to us to actually be very clear
And you've
And
got to have that
boundaries.
because you're setting the ground rules for what you're building going forward.
Yeah.
100%.
So you got to come here, but you got to be pro. And I don't think anybody would argue with that. I mean, down in Cape Town, those guys as well. They and Joburg, those guys that you got to Joe Parker's flipping comedy thing there, the Goliath thing there. Those guys, you can't bugger around. You know, they're all in it. So they know it.
Yeah, and
They
it's
know the
hard.
scene.
Exactly, and it's hard work throughout the country. Even Vision, we had a chat to him yesterday. You know, he's just said sometimes the gigs are really hard, and you've got a handful of people in the audience.
Yeah.
And you know that you're there to fine tune your material. So you get up on that stage and you do your set.
Yeah. So it depends how you look at it, you know, because you can either look at it as a crap gig for 5 people. Why am I even here? Or you could say, let me just do this. Yeah. Make them laugh and also craft my thing, rehearse it again. It's going to be good. It's going to be better next time. So you got to look at it in those sort of terms, I'm sure. Kinds of topics or themes that you enjoy incorporating into your comedy, any specific stuff?
No, definitely my kids.
The kids. And yourself, your kids as well.
I do not have children.
I've gathered that.
Unless my cat counts.
Well, a cat lady. There we go.
I like both cats and dogs. Before we had the cats, we had dogs. But yeah, for me, it's things that happen to me.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I have a joke about Afrikaans names, you know, and I say, you know, it must be a bit weird saying an Afrikaans man's name while you're busy doing the do, and you know, things like that, where I say just like crazy things, and people are like, "Oh my word, but like things like that, and my family, and
the thing with your name as well. What was it?
Yes,
the story with your name.
Yeah, with some of the things like with some of the things you face is like, you know, a black woman in the workplace. So I was a teacher's assistant at a daycare, and I said, you know, the 3 to 4 year olds are my favorites, but these guys are a bit hectic. And it was 2 little Afrikaans girls where the one girl just simply couldn't say my nickname. And I said, you know what? Next time I see these girls, I'm telling you my full name. And I was like, the full name is Nolwazi, Gqeberha, and we will see if they can say that. And there's no way they can say that.
Shit.
Yeah, I think real life is a great place to start with comedy. But what I really want to do, it's one of my Nolwazi, I have an idea. Is I want to do some stuff around feminism.
Okay.
But specifically around microaggressions that women experience, you really should smile more.
Yeah,
You
really.
look so pretty if you smile.
Oh my God, yes, microaggression. Yeah, you really should, yes.
Yes, you really should, So anyway, we're keen on doing that kind of stuff, and I'm going to rope Sophie Jones into that.
Yes.
You know, we'd like to actually collaboratively write something with all the women in South Africa, comedians.
Wow.
Yeah,
well, that's big plans.
Exactly. We just need to get the woman onto our stage here first.
No, I think it's like I said, it's a perfect place because it sounds like a safe space for guys for people to try. Because I've often had people coming to me and saying, where can I get to do an open mic? And I always do with my friends and everything, and they say I'm funny, and then I must do something. You should, you should.
But
do
so
it.
the other thing is, Gino, is if anybody has got a little venue or something and they want to start open mics, we'll help them set it up. We've got the comedians that are looking for the time, so and they can use our model. That can be a Friendly City initiative, or it doesn't have to be. It can be your own initiative. So if people have got venues and they want to start open mics, bearing in mind that open mic, we were quite lucky. We had a good first turnout. But I mean, open mics can have 10 people maybe. So it's not a money spinner, but it
depends how you market it as well.
Right.
If the marketing is out there, because it's all, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're selling, if nobody knows it's there, you're not going to get the people. Right. So as soon as it starts to gain traction, you'll find that the people will come. They will come.
Exactly. And we've got the comedians. We've got
and you're finding them, which is fantastic.
Because every single week we meet new guys. We're like, oh, how's it? So nice to meet you. It's so great. We started in Newton Egg.
Okay.
You know, we've been through there twice. It's
Sure.
really been an experience.
Yeah.
Thanks, Erica. We love you.
The Hague, baby.
Hey, yeah, it's been rough, eh?
Yeah.
We still love you guys. But but it's definitely something that we want to keep on developing, because the guy that we've got there, Randall Roman, he's in with it, you know. He said, come, we've got to do this, I want to make it work. So many people are there supporting him, and
Okay.
So-
What's the venue in
at Utilate, we've been using the Rose and Shamrock.
Okay.
On the Hannes is the proprietor there,
Sorry.
and he's so supportive. He's just like up for it,
Yeah.
and he wants
I like
to make it
Utilate
work.
people, are they? They're proper.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
good
They're
people.
proper noisy too.
Yeah.
They are proper.
They can also talk.
They are proper.
Yeah.
So if we, the idea is if we have all these little hubs all over the city,
Yeah.
it's just fantastic.
It's-
It's good for all of us.
It's everyone, and it's part of the whole scene.
Right.
So people get to meet each other. They might find collaborations that they do together. They might, and they encourage each other.
Exactly.
Gotta work.
Collaborations, exactly.
Gotta
And
work.
we want to get to the stage where people from Johannesburg are contacting us and say,
Yeah.
here you've got such great comedians down there. We're
Yes.
looking for.
Who can we use for this?
Yeah, we're
We've
looking
got
for
this
this.
crowd. We've got this
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
We've got a
Yes.
golf day. We need this.
Right.
Full of drunk people playing golf, and we need this guy.
Yeah.
Or this person.
There's somebody to run around in a rock for us.
Yeah, there's it. That was magic. And so going forward as well, what would the dream be for this thing?
I don't know. We're working with Kurt Blanche is mentoring us.
Okay.
And this is a very new thing. We saw him recently at a gig, and I was like, don't you want to help us?
Yeah.
And what do they do? Yes, of course, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I don't really know what it is. I've got my whole feminist inclination. I think Nolwazi has got,
But
she's
you
got
think-
her own dreams.
I'm as far as like forming a company or forming something like that.
I don't know. It has to be something, I suppose. But
Yeah.
we're not 100% sure.
It's
Yeah.
a joint venture at the moment.
Yes.
Yes,
Joint
a
venture.
joint
It's
venture.
like rock up on the last Sunday of the month. Wow, do this again, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna go again.
Yeah.
What we're planning for next month.
Yeah.
It's
So we-
relentless.
Yeah, exactly. So we want to do submission for the Mandela Bay Arts Festival.
Mandela Bay Arts Festival. There was a meeting about it the other day.
Yeah.
You say it's sort of from the Grahamstown Fest.
It's an initiative of the National Arts Festival, yeah. So, my understanding is this is almost like a trial. This is the second time they're doing it in Port Elizabeth.
Okay.
So anybody can apply if you have got a show or a performance that you want to do. You don't have to have attended that session.
Yeah.
It was just an information session.
Yeah.
All the information is available on the website.
Okay.
And if you leave anything else in the form, they just won't approve you.
Well, I'm sure we
Should have
can
been
put
at
it
the
in the thing. Let's have a look at some of these comments coming through. There's a whole pile of comments coming through here. Let's have a look and see. I see Philippa says, how do you deal with hecklers or people talking loudly in your set? Oh my word, I just shout over them. I don't know. What do you do?
Yeah, I just ignore. But the thing
Yeah.
that's nice also at the last laugh, our audience is such a nice bunch of
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Honestly, they will very quickly realize, oh, I shouldn't be talking right now. Or they'll be like, oh, but no one will ever heckle.
Yeah.
There's been moments where I'll be on stage and it's going. And sometimes I'll freeze and realize, oh, wow, I'm talking to like 40 people.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
the heck is happening? And then I'll blank a little bit. And I'll be like, oh, I've gone blank. And the one time that happened, the girl in the front row said, you've got it now. And I was like, okay, that's where I was. So
Thank you.
they're so nice. It's like the
We've got
best
a great
crowd.
group. Even
Yeah.
we've had the comedians coming up from Cape Town, Callum and Zachary and Tulasizwe. They said they loved our room. They said it was such an amazing room. They got such a great vibe from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so-
coming out of this whole pandemic thing as well, there's a lot of depression and a lot of things. Do you attack that in your sets as well?
I had a set where I kind of spoke about COVID,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
only performed
COVID.
it once, and I was just like, it's a bit too depressing.
Nobody wants to. I did bring it into my sets as well because I feel like it's like
Yeah.
you want to leave that behind. It's like
Yeah.
it's just such a scrap time for entertainers.
I think what's very topical with that includes the depression is mental health in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, ADHD is so topical right now. I mean, Aaron McElroy's done that whole ADHD show.
Amazing.
I've started, I know I've got material written somewhere on ADHD.
Yeah.
I'd love to sort of expand on that a bit. Yeah.
It's true.
So
as a sufferer yourself.
There's a sufferer myself. Yeah. So as you know, there's all of these things that are very topical at the moment. The depression sort of forming one of those kind of things. I, of course, would love to get a bit more political, but I haven't got a very strong grounding in politics. Yeah.
It's always, you always feel like it's sort of politics for amateurs sometimes. You know, you want to get out there and just it's a touchy one. So let's look at some of the other comments there. I see Barbara Gunn. There's Barbara Manor saying a restaurant in Main Road should have one evening. You're right. Main Road Warmer. Meal and comedy show. Well, maybe if there's anybody online, tag some of the restaurant owners, and that would be an amazing thing, because Warmer is a nice central spot.
Right,
The Oaks, they'd pay those tickets and they'd come in and support.
But you see, this is the thing. It's intimidating to try and fill a room of 80 or 100 people. You know what it's like. So we've the Harbour Master's 35 seats only. It only fits. So we're really trying to give that a try and see how that goes. We used to selling a 50-seater room at 40 rand a ticket. Now we're going 35 for $100 a ticket. So
$100 a ticket is absolutely cheap.
Exactly.
Cheap.
And you get a free drink on a
So I think one of the Warmer restaurants, if you can do a quieter night there, you pull in more people.
But that's the thing. We want we don't want to take away from people's normal. So if they've got busy Fridays and Saturday nights, we don't want to go and hop on there where everybody's 2 sheets to the wind, and they've been drinking since 4 o'clock in the afternoon watching all the rugby, because nobody's going to listen to your comedy.
Of course not.
You know.
Here we go. Any open mic nights in East London? Says,
I don't know, actually.
I'm not sure. We'll have to ask Kerry Howes and that, but maybe this thing will expand to East London as well. If there are any comedians in East London that are interested, then get hold of them as well, because this thing can go amazingly. Grant Bradshaw, well done. These 2 ladies must support these projects. Absolutely, Grant. They become hubs. The On the Go show was a huge thing in PE. During the 70s, it got musicians together. It got them in a little bit of a competition situation, and they worked with each other. They collabed. It was amazing. Candace saying, "Love these girls."
No, she's one of our girls.
She's one of the gals.
She's a new and up and coming comedian.
A newbie. There we go, Candace.
Funny, guys.
So funny.
Excellent, Candace. I look forward to some of your sets sometime. That would be magic.
Candace is going to be on our lineup at our next Harbour Master Kit, which is on the 19th of
October.
September. We're doing
September.
2. It was Vision. We're just sort of doing 2.
Vision's coming tomorrow.
A bigger show.
So one tomorrow and then one the 19th or so.
Don't want to speak about it too much because we want people to come to
tomorrow night too.
I just want to go back to the East London comment. If you're interested in comedy, you can give us a message on the Friendly City Comedy crew, but I would reach out to Python Park. They might be interested in looking at something like that. There's a pub out there.
Okay, cool.
Just saying.
Cool.
Because I know the woman that runs it, Jax.
Okay, have you connected with the Cape Town Comedy Collective? I think they, according to Gary, they started with a similar approach to what you've done as well. The Comedy Collective in Cape Town. I think Angel is probably a member there. I think. But I mean, they actually do that thing on the waterfront. They've got that the venue, the pump house or whatever they used to do there.
Is it still going?
It was who was running it at that time? It's Mark Sampson at the time that was running it.
Check it out. We try very hard to be very supportive of other comedians all over the country.
Yes.
So on our Instagram account, when we pick up that there's a gig going down in Cape Town or Johannesburg, we will share it to our stories. We tag it #Gqeberha, Cape Town, Gqeberha, Durban. And then we've put it into a highlight. So we've got basically 3 main highlights. Anything that's happening in GQ, anything that's happening in the rest of South Africa, and then we've got Sappers Abroad, which is guys that have gone. Alfred Adrian is heading out to New York City.
Yes. He's
Dalen
like,
Oliver's just gone to Australia.
oh, Dalen's a
Our guys
legend.
are making name
Yeah.
throughout the world.
Yeah.
Ambrose Uren, who's just spent a month at Edinburgh,
Yeah.
is at Stockholm now this weekend.
Stockholm,
He's doing
wow.
a comedy festival there.
Dalen's amazing as well. I love that guy.
no,
Such a warm guy. And
And Trevor just came back.
He just came back
And I mean,
now.
we're still waiting to hear from him.
Yeah.
Has he got your number?
No, he doesn't.
Oh, my
But
word.
he can find me.
Ah.
Very easy to find.
Well, guys, I don't know if there's anything else that you want to get a quick shout out about. If you want to advertise anything that's coming up soon, other than tomorrow night, or tomorrow night's at the Harbour Master,
Yeah.
and then the 19th you say
Also again,
Also
but
again,
but
we also
different
having now that
collective.
long weekend. Jan
Yes.
is going to be here.
yes, okay,
So that is our last laugh. The last laugh takes place on the last Sunday of every single month.
okay,
It's where you can find the new comedians. If you're interested in comedy, give us a shout.
yeah,
You can come and stand up on our stage. Otherwise, come and support the comedians. It's not only the new comedians, it's also
check it out, yeah,
established ones.
okay,
And
yeah. Well, it's good. Anything to support the local comedy thing, and I
Right,
think what
yeah.
you're doing, what you guys are doing, is amazing. It's
Yeah.
it's for somebody just to get down and do it.
it's
You
high
know,
praise from somebody like
No,
you.
I love it. I love it,
Definitely.
and I hope that it grows and grows, and I hope that you your little comedy company, which I think you're going to have to form, it's got to start making a good income, and also promoting these artists. I think it will be amazing. And that's it from us tonight. I think we've got a giveaway that we can do as well. We got Fitch and Leeds are one of our sponsors. There, seen on the screen. If I'm pointing there, the screen. One of our sponsors. We give away a case of Fitch and Leeds every night to anybody that's watching.
Oh,
So we pull the lever and we go. Yeah,
I must
Ka-ching,
sorry,
ching.
I know we ended off. I just must give a shout out to GQ Comedy.
Yes,
GQ Comedy as
Yeah.
well. That's Niven Spence and Emilio
Niven
Tobias.
Spence. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
They're doing a lot for comedy. We went to a fabulous show at the One Room that they had organized
Okay,
on
okay.
Saturday night.
So
I
they-
wanted to just give them a shout out.
Yes,
as well.
yeah. And
Sorry.
Niven, I've heard as well. Been doing it for a long time as well. And there we go. Denzel Naidu is our winner.
Woohoo!
We pulled the lever. Denzel Naidu. Well done, Denzel. Wendy will get hold of you, Denzel, and we'll organize a case of Fitch and Leeds for you. But thank you, ladies, for coming on. It's been fantastic to have you, and
Thanks so
I
much, Gino.
love what you're doing, and I hope it goes from strength to strength.
Lekker. Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
coming on.
We so appreciate it.
A pleasure. It's a
And
pleasure. Yes, and
behind
Gary.
the scenes, I'm Gary.
And thank you to our sponsor, Spa. Spa has been fantastic. Fitch and Leeds and Sovereign, our new sponsor. They've been fantastic too. Good bunch of guys from The Hague.
Yeah,
Cheers,
you
guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. Dean Allen and Arnold Slubbert are gonna
that'll be
check it
great.
out. That'll be nice.
Arnold Slab is always good for us.
Arnold is amazing. He's catching all sorts of flipping crazy animals. He
He's
found a
great,
lynx.
man.
He caught a lynx the other day
Oh,
at the Kukka.
Kukka.
Just like, and he released it so they can go eat all the hyrax,
I know.
all the little
Amazing.
dussies.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Relax, sit down. Coming out of PE town. One drink, find a shot. Never mind your liver, get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Get to Gino's spot.
Gino spot.
Have a laugh, have a giggle, and exercise your middle.